Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kazanthi here, and today we are building a micro home cabin winter holiday getaway for one. So you can see I've built the shell and everything, and I'm just doing the wallpaper on the outside for now, and doing like the doors and the windows and everything. I do mainly use horse ranch and cottage living, so no surprise there. My favourite packs really, the styles that I like the most really out of all of the content that we get in The Sims. So you see I'm just putting some things in, finally adding in move objects. Honestly, I should have a competition one day, see how long it takes me to put in the move objects cheat. But anyway, here we are. And then I believe first of all I start off with the outside like landscaping and everything. So once I've finished fiddling with all these windows and stuff, we will be doing like putting up loads of plants and fences and stuff like that. But yeah, so you can see that I'm again building in the Mount Komorebi lots that are on the mountain, just because it makes it easier for the snow, and like not having a sim around and stuff, and having to change the season to winter with cheats and everything, just because I can't be bothered to have too many saves as far as the thing. But yeah, so it's a 30 by 20 lot again, because I think all three lots on the mountain are 30 by 20. But you can see I've added some shutters to the windows, I've added those structural supports under the roofs, putting in some makeshift dormers here, the ones that come with the Sims that are like under chimneys in the build catalogue. They didn't fit because this is so tiny. It's such a tiny home. It's a micro home, so it's 32 tiles only, and there was no way I could no way. So you see here I've just added in 2 extra roofs and then put some windows to make them just from the outside. From the inside it doesn't really affect anything. But here you can see I'm putting out loads of debugs, so I've got like lights and fences and random things. So fortunately this house is on the cheaper side. I think it's around 20,000 on its own. And yeah, I do use a lot of debug for the landscaping, because I found out as well that they're more like the debug bushes, they're more likely to not be twigs when it's snowy. So that really helped, because obviously there's loads of snow on this lot. But yeah, you can see I just finished up building a little outdoor seating, or what will be an outdoor seating area over there in the corner with the trees and the lights and everything. And now I'm moving back to doing the fences. So these are cottage living debug fences. If you just type in show hidden objects, show live edited objects, it comes up. But yeah, and then we've got loads of milk jugs, because why not? I just thought useful. It doesn't have to be milk in them, but we've got loads of milk jugs just by the side of the house. And now you can see me putting down all these flowers that are also from Cottage Living and the debug catalogue. And you can see what I mean here is like they're not twigs, and it's really nice because you get that full look of a garden. But these would also look nice in summer or spring. I don't know what those 3 little things are that I just put on the wall there, but they come with the Cottage Living debug catalogue, and I just added them because I thought it would be a nice little detail to add. So they're there, and you can see now I've added in the truck that comes with Cottage Living, and just a massive log just to fill out the kind of empty space there in the front. Just bringing in a gate, and I think I should be soon hopefully grabbing the other fence. But yeah, also just kind of cluttering up a little bit with whatever I can find. A lot of the stuff in Cottage Living is so cute, and I would use all of it, but it just, you know, this is a cabin sort of in the mountains, so farming equipment isn't exactly what you would expect. But yeah, so here I'm just putting down those bushes and then adding some more to the left as well. I think those ones are actually from horse ranch, and I ended up using them a bit more because they had a bit more of a gradient under the snow instead of just being white. But yeah, here we go, finally closing in the fence. And then that's really it. I'm just layering up these same bushes, and this, what looks like grass, is actually flowers, but it came across as grass in the winter, so I used a lot of it because it just kind of added, again, some colour, some different textures to the terrain. And then also cottage living had just such good clutter, so those like buckets with flowers in, there's the little store that you saw me put down earlier by the gates, that's got a little light on it, and just made it really bring in a cute cozy vibe, especially at night, which you'll see later on. And then that is an overgrown well from horse ranch, I believe, and I just thought that fit so well in amongst the bushes nestled there. Just kind of completed it, gave it a little bit of, you know, this is what it once was, kind of history. That's it, history to the build. But yeah, so sorry, what are we doing now? There's a lot of me just rifling through debug in this build, and it became a bit of a challenge to edit it all out without editing out the actual important bits. But here we are onto this little entry kind of into the house, and I decided to put the stairs so that they, you know, are perpendicular to the door, just because I think, one, it didn't block this little florist bench I put there, and two, it just, I kind of adore that sort of look when you enter in sideways. I don't know why, it just hits corners in my brain. I just raised up as well the small banks of snow behind the house, just again to give it this little kind of nestled away vibe. And now I'm adding in the grass, those granite falls blossoms, more ferns, which also are from the outdoor retreat pack. And now I believe we're moving on to this outdoor seating area. So I use a fire pit from Outdoor Retreat. So I use the more rustic one with like the stones and everything. And then I just use the log benches and seats as the seating for the outdoor area. And surprisingly, once I shuffle it around, the sim can actually sit on all of these seats, which I wasn't expecting because it doesn't look like a sim could pass through them, but it works. I did make sure to include a trash can and a post box, so we got the one trash can by the milk jugs, and then the post box goes just in the front here. Later on, just now we see me putting it down. And then I believe that's really it for the outside. I do add a few things in later on. Oh no, it's not. Got the hose, and now we're just doing the stone path, and then that should be it for the outside. Oh, and some skill building items, which we'll add in a bit. But I finally found these stone items from the debug catalogue, and surprisingly this time it didn't take me too long to look for them. I think it's because I filtered through base game, so it made it a lot easier to find, which is my top trick for the debug catalogue, because obviously when you have so many packs it just becomes non-navigable. it's impossible to find anything, so I filter through the pack, and I kind of have to either imagine or I just know what pack which debug item comes from. So yeah, and then just adding some more kind of debug. So those are actually lavender bushes in the front here, so hopefully if you did want to place this on a lot that isn't always snowy, it would look somewhat nice. So yeah, here we go. I'm adding in those skill building items I mentioned earlier. So we've got 4 planter boxes and then 1 telescope just in the corner here. And then I thought about adding a chimney, but I just couldn't, again, too big, couldn't find one that worked, so I just moved on to the inside. And here I just went for the green subway tiles. I think I accidentally still had base game filtered on from when I was looking through the debug catalogue, so that's how come I had such a limited range of tiles to choose from. But fortunately it made it a lot easier to choose, so I'm not complaining. And then these sort of succulent fairy light wall lamps from Cottage Living were just the perfect fit. So I do use a lot of succulents in this cabin just because it's a lot easier, obviously, to maintain succulents. Or supposedly it is. I mean, I don't really know, but that's what I understand. And so I thought that fit better into, you know, a winter cabin where you're probably not there the whole year. And, you know, they kind of thrive on their own. This entire bathroom does work as well, so I've just sized down that sink from Parenthood and then used a wall-mounted shower, and it's all fully functional. There's no problems at all with getting a sim in here and like having everything work. I will say I did add like the laundry stuff bucket under the sink, and then that made it not functional. But as long as you don't have anything under the sink, it works just fine. So that's basically the bathroom. Nothing much to it. I do add in this rug from Horse Ranch, which has got these 3 sheep. And it's just the cutest thing in the world. There is a bit of a sheep theme in this build. It's not overwhelming, don't worry, but sheep do appear again later on. And then I just carry through the exterior wallpaper onto the interior, or like a similar one with a similar colour at least, from again Horse Ranch. So I would say like the main pack from here is Horse Ranch and Cottage Living, but probably more so Horse Ranch. And then this ends up being the kitchen area, and I had a bit of a struggle with it because I realised I didn't add in a stove, so which in the end I think works out, because otherwise it would have been too much going on and too much like of a dominating kitchen for this tiny space. So unfortunately you can't cook anything with the stove, but there is the oven, so you know there's still quite a few options in the cooking catalogue to use, so don't worry, your Sims won't starve or like be eating garden salads the rest of their lives. But yeah, so I've also gone for the university mini fridge, again just because of the space, and well, rather the lack of space. And I end up cluttering this outer counter, so the outer corner counter, but when I went to playtest, unfortunately, because the inner corner counter wasn't, you know, they're a bit glitchy, like you can sometimes get your Sims to cook with them, but it wasn't working, so I had to shift things around, which you'll see in the screenshots. And then we've just got this like clutter fest going on, so I do dance back and forth. I do put like postcards up here. By the door there's like wood, logs, baskets, pokers, and by the bathroom there's all the laundry stuff. And then this little area above the fridge has just got loads of cabinets, and then a little bit of clutter. And then yeah, that's really it for the kitchen. As I said, I do change things around later on, so you'll see a bit of a different layout. Not layout, but like the clutter changes in the screenshots. Now moving on to the living area. So I just have a couch and this rocking chair for the living area. Because again, I imagine like this is a solo getaway where you just want to chill and relax and not be surrounded by, you know, I feel like I say this for every build, but you want to have very little technology. So there's no TV, there's no laptop, none of that. This side like console table acts as both the bedside table and a sort of coffee table. So there's the gramophone and then quite a few plants. I end up putting the cottage living book stacks on it. Oh, and here you see more of the succulents coming through. So I just used wall hanging, or rather ceiling hanging plants instead of taking up floor space, because again that just makes life a lot easier when you are trying to have a sim move through this small build. I bring in also this string of fairy lights and make sure to not have it clip through the wall this time, just to bring in a little bit more of a cozy vibe and some lighting, because these lights from, I think they're from Horse Ranch as well, these big pendant lights, they aren't the most bright. They aren't the brightest, let's say. And then, yeah, the only really holiday type thing that comes through is the garlands on the windows. So there's not like any Christmas trees around or anything. Here you see I'm just rearranging this little section because there was this this wardrobe that I loved because of the, what's it called, like jacquard? No. Or like the paint, but it's like veneer, but it's painted. Like on the front of the wardrobe. I adored. I had to include it. So I put it there because I just thought that made more sense. It's not blocking a window. And then I had then room to put in this wood burner that's also from Horse Ranch. And then there are just some plants in the corner here. And then the third skill building item of the build, which is just an easel, which does actually work despite the way that it is facing, which was really surprising. So that's it for the interior. So you've got basically everything you need, everything works, and I'm quite impressed by how well 32 tiles fits things. But yeah, so now we're just onto the outside. So I'm trying to make the outside look really cozy, and one way you can do this is get a really warm toned light, size it down and move it so it's hidden, and it keeps the like glow of it stays. So you can see that I'm doing that here on the house, and like I said, it just makes it a lot cozier, especially with the snow. That contrast between the cold cut toned snow and the warm toned light is just chef's kiss. Now I'm just going around adding some lanterns that are also from Horse Ranch onto the ground to act as sort of, floorway lighting. Brief interlude returning to the interior here to add in some holiday candles on the console table. And then really we are, I think, almost coming to the end of the video. Yeah, we are. So we're just adding some more of those lightings out here, and that's really it for the video. So I hope you enjoyed. I know it's a quick one, but I had a real fun time building this. I hope you enjoyed watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. I'm gonna be building an ice rink, so watch out for that, and I'll see you soon. Bye.